What's good, y'all? Hope everybody's living well and staying blessed. It's your boy Markus B, and I'm not joined by anybody. It's another 1-2-1, real quick. We actually got a great episode coming up with my boy Max. We talked about it, him coming on, giving us the music of the month, and we get into that whole thing. So stay tuned for that. But I wanted to have something a little up front because it was a little bit shorter of an episode, and I kind of wanted to talk about some things. So this is episode 61, 62, whichever one it is. I believe it's 61. If it's not, new guy Chris, just edit it over, help your boy out. But I've been thinking a lot about a couple things because we're coming up on a year of dealing with COVID. Like it's already been a year since COVID was a thing, of course. But as far as like dealing with it, I believe it was like March 13th, March 14th is when the United States shut down. Excuse me, I like a shake right here stuck in my chest. Just got done working out. It's not heartburn, but sorry, I digress. But we're coming up on a year of dealing with this, and I'm curious if people are having some anxiety about the upcoming spring break, because that's when all this popped off, right? Was during spring break. We, if to all the fellow teachers and the students, we left for spring break just being like, all right, cool, we get like a little week of downtime, we're gonna take it easy, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. And then we just never came back. And I know that I'm actually like a little bit stressed about the idea of leaving the kids again, right? I don't know about any of y'all, but I definitely had some anxiety leaving for Christmas break and thinking like, bro, are we gonna be able to come back? Is it gonna get shut down? And like just being a little stressed out through over those 2 weeks. And you know, I had my scare of being exposed to COVID. So like that anxiety on top of the anxiety of are we gonna come back was, again, as I've stated, I'm not worried about my personal health and how I'm gonna deal with COVID if and when I do get it. But you know, there's always that anxiety of like, okay, when did I get it? Who have I seen since then? And doing a contact tracing deal and seeing and just hoping that nothing bad happened. Luckily, nothing did. But I do have this anxiety going into spring break, and I want to know if you guys are in the same boat, man. Reach out to me. Shoot me a DM, either on my personal account or the Instagram account for the podcast. How you guys are feeling about this, and the weird thing is that personally, and you know, I can only talk from my experience, and I get the luxury of being in a smaller town, and I'm not in Austin or San Antonio or any of those big metropolitan areas where they're gonna have different issues from us. But being in the small city that I'm at, I've been having a pretty good spring semester, and it feels a little selfish saying that. But that is also adding to the anxiety because I was having a good spring semester last year too, right? My indoor drumline group was super on track to make it a state, and that was going to be such a big deal. And I was so excited for the kids. And my concert band was on track to. I'm not going to say that they're on track to get straight ones, but you know, compared to the straight threes that we got my first year, I knew where we were in a better spot last year than we were the year before. So I was feeling good about that. And then I was feeling good about my brass band. You know, we just coming back from New Orleans, and they were killing it, and they were just like chomping away at the bit at some of these super beefy tunes and all the things that I was doing. And then it all got shut down. And here I am again, killing it with my sixth graders. All the kids at the high school are you know, I started the perk ensemble stuff, and they're getting after that, right? You know, the kids are learning how to do perk ensemble, and you know, I got to give them a little bit more of a leeway on that, as far as like the expectations I hold for them. And you know, if you know how I am as a teacher, when I say change my expectations, I don't mean that I'm gonna hold them to a lower expectation of quality, but just like I can't, and this is like my fundamental way, teaching points, teaching philosophy, we'll go with teaching philosophy, is I can't get mad at you if I haven't taught you how to do it. And, you know, we've never done 80% of these kids have never done a perk ensemble. 70% of these kids have never done percussion ensemble. So like, if the first rehearsal on this tune that we just started doesn't go well, like that's just me thinking that it's gonna go a certain way, and then it doesn't. So I'm readjusting. And you know, I have such a wide range of talent that's also part of the issue, is that I had a really good rehearsal with my top ensemble, and I expected everybody else in the studio to do just as well. And that was dumb because obviously my top ensemble is like half seniors, half juniors, and like 2-3 of my, you know, better sophomores. Obviously they're going to be able to hold it down, but the kids that are in these freshman ensembles where they, you know, struggle to read rhythms and read notes on the page, yeah, they're not gonna be able to learn the music as fast. So I'm gonna have to readjust there, but I feel really good about where we're at with it, you know? And I have this anxiety going into spring break that I'm gonna build it up just like we did last year, and then it's gonna get the carpet's gonna get pulled out from underneath us. The rug's gonna get pulled out from underneath us. But I'm hopeful that that's not the case. I really am. I'm hoping that's not the case. And I don't think it's going to be the case. You know, I've been as optimistic as I can be throughout these moments this year, as we've been teaching through COVID and all that. Just feel a little pretentious saying like that sentence, but yeah, man, it's been a good year. The kids are killing it. I feel good about the products that we're putting out. And it's just about learning and adjusting and figuring out what the kids need and how to do it, how to teach to those specific needs. So I think it's gonna be good, man. I do. I think ultimately it's gonna end up being a really good year, and I'm excited for my percussion ensemble concert at the beginning of June. And I'm excited for how everything plays out, man. I have a good feeling. I am, however, again, to shout out to all the band directors and music directors. We don't get to go to Team EA, man. Usually I would be gearing up. So I'm recording this on Tuesday. What is it? Tuesday the 9th. So tomorrow would be the first day of Team EA. Wednesday the 10th. I'd begin my lesson plans, getting all that stuff together for what the kids would be doing Thursday and Friday. I would do my last day of teaching Wednesday, and then fly down to San Antonio, go get some dinner with some homies, and then boom, hit those clinics, baby. Go get my yearly motivation from Tim Lotzenizer. Um, Go to like the 2 or 3 percussion things that they have, because they only have so many. And getting to see people, man. That was, as on a regular year, Team EA is just such a big get together for people you went to school with, people you marched with, people um, you've come to know over the years, and you just get together and you get to kick it, and you're surrounded by people that enjoy music and enjoy teaching and enjoy all the things that you do, and you get to share in that experience, and you get to like see the love for music and for the students. And we don't get that this year. That sucks, especially since we've already been taken away from like seeing people at competitions, seeing people at region meetings, seeing people at football games, seeing people at regional auditions, like all these things that you normally like get to catch up with your buddies and your colleagues. That you don't get to do that. And then here we have the mecca of getting to catch up with homies, and you don't get to do it. So I'm pretty bummed about that, man. I am. Always look forward to Team EA. Oh my gosh. And then the concerts, just getting reminded of what like high school band can be, what middle school band can be. These great colleges, right? I think it was Texas State was gonna roll through again this year. Maybe I might be crazy. But yeah, getting to go to those concerts, man. Damn. And yeah, the honor bands, I believe they're gonna be pushing out those concerts. But we all know it's not the same, man. It's great to listen to a great recording of a band and just think, oh, like, that's really cool. That was beautiful. They played it super well. But it just doesn't hit the same when you're singing live, man. And that's the case for all performing arts. I listen to a lot of comedian podcasts, and they always talk about it, man. Like the special that gets on Netflix is Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, whatever platform that they do, YouTube. It's 60%, 70%. It's just not the same. But shout out, and I should know, but shout out to the honor bands that did make it, man, because they're still fantastic musicians that have play at an extremely high level and have some great talent. So shout out to all of them. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to get on here, express a couple things, talk it out, and for all those that are listening, man, let me know if you're feeling the same way, or if I'm just kind of stressed on my own accord, which is a high possibility. Always a chance that I'm just kind of stressed about something that's not really there. But yeah, man, reach out. And if you are struggling with that anxiety, reach out to me as well. As I've said before, I care a whole lot about mental health and well-being, both mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I care about my people, and I have a list of homies that I try to reach out to once a week, once every 2 weeks, and I don't get, I know a lot of people, so I don't get to say what's up to everybody. But if you are struggling and you just want somebody to talk to, listen to, reach out to me, man. I am a busy man, just as any other music director, teacher is, person in general. Right? I'm not gonna take away from anybody. And we all busy out here, but I make it a point to take care of the people in my life, man, and try to hit them up as much as I can. Um, so holla at me if you need anything. Uh, Other than that, man, I did have a homegirl. I'm not. I gotta ask her. I don't want to blow up her name just yet. And I think I'm gonna talk with Evan and new guy Chris about this on Thursday, when we record the next episode. Um, but talk about relationships and how they grow as you grow, both in the sense of like you're growing with the person that you're in a relationship with, as well as growing as an individual in a relationship. Um, I've talked about it here where I am. Have I talked about it on the show? I don't know if I have or not. Nah, see, come like off the top of my head anymore. But just talking about what it takes to be in a relationship, what it takes to be in a grown relationship, um, and a real reality, man. I got a lot of homegirls and a lot of homeboys that have kids, and it didn't work out with their original significant other, and they are struggling because they know the importance of having the other significant person in their child's life, but they also don't want to damage the child by having a plethora of people roll through the crib, uh, just because the parent is like dating and trying to figure it out, man. So I don't know. I got to think a little bit on that. I want to talk to my homegirl a little bit more on that. Get her side of the story. See where she's at with that. Maybe I hit up a couple other my people and see what their thoughts are on this specific topic of dating with a child, or dating with the idea of getting in a relationship with somebody that has a child. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Don't expect much from new guy Chris, because he's fresh into the game. But I would like to see if Evan has any opinions on this and any thoughts. And then again, man, I really want to open it up to you guys. I don't necessarily run the YouTube thing that goes to new guy Chris. So if you guys do it in a comment, if you leave anything in the comments, I'll make sure that he gets that to me. But if you want me to see it right away, shoot me a DM. I run all the social medias except for TikTok. Again, that's new guy Chris. I think he's running that. I refuse to get TikTok. I just have literally all my friends just send me TikToks. So I don't know how much I'm technically off of it, but whatever. I'm not downloading it on my phone. But like I said, I just wanted to get this quick one out there. Reach out to y'all. If anybody ever wants to talk, regardless if it's on the podcast or not, let me know. Reach out to me. If you do want to be on the podcast, if you have something that you're trying to put out, I got a homie that just reached out to me. He's got an EP dropping, so we're gonna get him on. I got another boy that's got some music projects going on. Even if you're not trying to sell anything, if you're not trying to put anything out there, and you just have, again, if you just feel like you have an interesting point of view, I'm booking people up as much as possible. And my high preference is to have you sitting in the chair next to me, because I think it's a more intimate conversation, and it just flows a little bit better. But I also understand that some of y'all live not in Texas, and some of y'all don't live anywhere close to me, even if you do live in Texas. So, and then also we still dealing with Rona. So I understand if you're stressed about the health health side of things. So I'm a little booked up for right now until like mid March, but I'm trying to get as many people lined up as possible. So hit me up if you're down to jump on the show with your boy. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode with Max. Again, this dude is always coming in hot. He's always got a great deal of ideas. He's got such a wild personality, and I love getting to talk to him. So I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Also, again, we're gonna put it out soon, but we're gonna do a commercial of like all the supplements that I've been taking that are Redcon supplements, as well as what the website looks like, what to look for, and how to plug in that promo code so you can help us at the podcast out. And you can get yourself 20% off. So that's it. I hope you guys have a great week. Y'all be easy. Enjoy the episode.
Yeah, man. So thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm excited about this segment. I think that a lot of the future segments that I have planned are honestly cooler than this one. not different segments, but then like today's particular topic.
Okay.
But that's
so this is just to be clear, we talked about this the last time you were on, and I want to try to set this up. So we said that we were going to do Music with Max Mondays, or Max on Mondays with music. I don't know what the title is. We got to come up with a title. But
yeah, we got to come up with a title. The title will be on the next one.
Yeah, sounds good. But this is going to be a recurring segment. One subject of the best music that you have found this past month. And then you came swinging with these ideas today as we were texting. And I was not prepared for that, but I am excited about every single topic that you brought up. So it's really just the Max hour. So whatever you care to share, you care to tell the people at home, things that are exciting you, things that you want people to be aware of, that is all this is. So the time is all yours, my guy.
Killer, man. Well, yeah, so I'm really excited about this. I really want to talk about like new albums as they're kind of released, and kind of things that are just like on the cusp that people should be aware of, because like finding new music can be kind of hard, right? And so like having some sort of outlet to be able to do that is really awesome. And I'm fortunate enough that I've got some contacts of mine who I just kind of pretty consistently chat up to discuss like new albums, new artists, new things on the horizon. And so I've had a lot of fun with that. I mean, like one thing that I've done.
Getting a little spotty there, bud.
Sorry? What'd you say?
Missed that last little like 10 seconds. It got real spotty with the phone call.
Dude, all good. It's getting a little spotty on my end too. So hopefully it'll be a little bit easier. So yeah, I was chatting recently with some folks that I know about some newer albums and stuff. And January was like a little dry as far as new music for me goes. I was unfortunately just not super on top of it. But there was a new Weezer album that was released last week, and like that in itself.
Really, Weezer's putting out.
Yeah, shocking, right? Like I don't know how I feel about it. Like I need to listen to it probably like 2 or 3 more times. But like
sounds honestly, about right, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it was kind of like January is always kind of a weird month. Last year was really strong with like with Grimes releasing Misanthropocene and what is it? the other one that's not Grimes, but I always get him mixed up. Shit, I can't remember her name, but yeah, there was a lot more interesting new albums last year, I think.
Gotcha.
Just in January. But I think, with that being said, there were a lot of good things happening in December of 2020 that was coming hot off the heels between like Taylor Swift's second album of 2020 and Evermore, and Paul McCartney's new album. So there is good stuff out there. But today I was really excited because I got absorbed with what the segment is. And
Okay.
I've been to preface this, my fiance found on the side of the road on a curb in this neighborhood in the hills in Los Angeles. She found a Guitar Hero guitar with Beatles Rock Band and Guitar Hero 3 for the Wii. And we happened to have a Wii through just crazy circumstances.
Dude. Just on the side of the road?
Just on the side of the road, yeah. It's she sent me a picture and she was like, "Can you believe this?" And I was like, "No, I can't."
Dude, give me one more second.
No,
I
good,
keep
man.
cutting you off. My phone's not charging now. Either. Give me figure this dang thing out. I hate electronics so much. Boy, they hate me, and I just wish they didn't. Great. Why are you not charging? There we go. Okay. Should be good. Let's try this again.
All right, let's do it.
So you find this Guitar Hero on the side of the road.
Yeah, we found Guitar Hero 3 on the side of the road.
Games and the guitar?
Yeah, and someone's just getting rid of it. And it's in great condition too. It's not like it was broken or needing to be thrown out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was really weird. And so we've been playing it for like a few weeks. And then I was like, man, there's gotta be, first of all, it's fun to kind of jump back into it. And it's like the muscle memory is definitely there. And it's, it's a fun game. It's just a fun game that was huge in like the mid 2000s for being just like this transcendent new experience for gamers and musicians alike.
Such a concept.
Yeah, like it kind of took the DDR,
like such a concept.
It took the Dance Dance Revolution model, and we're like, what if we did this with instruments, and kind of brought people into the fold and made them interested in like just older songs or lesser known songs. And so it got me thinking two things. One, I feel super limited on how old it is and how inaccessible it is. So I was looking into it, and I'm actually working on building. I found this forum online that apparently I'm not the first person to have that thought, but I found this forum online where someone created like an open source version of Guitar Hero, and they call it Clone Hero. And so you just download the executable file onto like a PC and then just run a couple of things, and then you rig up like an older guitar to connect to it, and then bam, you bring up any songs that you want in your library, and people create like the tracks themselves to work with the system through a program called Reaper, which is just it's a free DAW that you can get online, but it's super powerful and you can do a lot of stuff with it. So it's pretty cool. And so like in the next week or two, I'm planning on like building out this rig to be able to play like unlimited songs, whatever songs I want on Guitar Hero, because it just sounds way more fun than the limited like 30 or 40 songs that are currently on Guitar Hero 3 and Beatles Rock Band.
That is, you just blew my mind on so many levels.
Also, like doesn't that sound so much more fun?
Like
to be able to play whatever songs you want instead of having just restricted
concept is super dope. Yeah. Concept super dope. But the fact that you just like brushed by it and was just like, yeah, all these things that I'm saying make sense and I understand how to do it is so dope, because that is just not where I am at. Everything you said was like super over my head. If you explained it better, I'm not going to understand it better. But fundamentally, people are just out there writing Guitar Hero songs.
Yeah, so like it's apparently a big, pretty big community, and they've been around for like 3-ish years now. And they created their own Discord where they have just an online community of people who are actively like creating new tracks with like writing out the MIDI for it, because essentially all it is a MIDI file. And and it's the MIDI file going along with like hitting targets, right? So I'm curious about like how it functions and how you do it, but the overall principle is that you can essentially take any song and write it out using MIDI and then convert that MIDI into like a guitar, Guitar Hero file, so to speak. Because
That's
you think about it,
crazy.
MIDI's literally just it's literally just numbers, right? Effectively, MIDI
Yeah.
is just like 128 ASCII binary, which are two different things. So it's really 128 ASCII, which is like 0 through 127. That's like your keyboard is in ASCII format. And so, if someone wants to call me out if that's wrong, please do, because I would rather be wrong than giving incorrect information to people.
Of course. We're all
But
about knowledge out here.
but like all that to say that like yeah, people are able to design their own tracks and like take full albums, popular songs, whatever, just like a grab bag of music and write new charts. And they do it for the little drum set that you have on Rock Band too. And like all of it's open source. So it's super easy to do. Well, it's easy-ish to do. But like creating a rig to play it and downloading the program and executing and stuff is fairly simple. I like, as I'm reading more about it, I'm impressed that the infrastructure is there, but I'm even more impressed on how user friendly it is. So I'm really excited to get started on that because we're still quarantining, so that's something to do.
For sure.
That got me thinking like, well, what are some like underrated songs in the Guitar Hero franchise? Because there are songs that I definitely have taken from the series that I really enjoyed, and it's kind of like built off of those in like taste of music moving forward through middle school, high school, college, whatever. And so I put together a list of 5 songs that I really liked, my 5 this week. Just songs that I really like from the series that I think are super underrated.
Okay.
So here's what I came up with. In no particular order. Number 1 from Guitar Hero 2 is a song called Get Ready to Rock, with rock spelled R-O-K-K, by Freeze Pop. And it was a song that was it was a bonus song in Guitar Hero 2.
Yeah.
And they had a song in Guitar Hero 1 and then also one in, I think, Rock Band. I think in 1 it was Less Talk More Rock. In Rock Band it was Get Ready to Rock is the one that's in Guitar Hero 1. The one in 2 is Less Talk More Rock. The one in Rock Band is Brain Power, I think.
Okay.
And they're like a really weird, funky band that's like this kind of, it's very electronic sounding, but it almost sounds like a video game, right? And so
interesting. Okay.
I put Get Ready to Rock. It really should be Get Ready to Rock and Less Talk More Rock. Less Talk More Rock's the one that I always get jazzed on because it really it calls back to me being like in middle school and playing the game for the first time and just like wanting. It was the song that made me want to be good at expert, which now is super lame. But as a child, like when you're 13, you're like, fuck yeah, I can play Guitar Hero. Like it's, dude. I mean, like South Park had a really good episode about it that I think hits the nail on the head very squarely.
Was there a more universal goal than everybody at 12 years old trying to play Through the Fire and Flames on Xbox?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I played that song yesterday, I think. And I just put it on hard and I couldn't finish it. I got like 86% of the way through and I was like, fuck this. Like, why would anyone spend the time? Like this has diminishing returns all over it. It's fucked up. It's fucked up that they put that song in there. That's not even a real band. If you watch them play live, it's like that's not actually happening. Like they're not unlike Steve Vai to me, who's another guy who just like essentially Steve Vai is an excellent guitar player, but he's a shitty songwriter. And so like I think that Steve Vai literally takes pebbles and throws them on his guitar and is like, that's my solo. And so like he can play that too, which is crazy. And like kudos to him. He's an amazing guitarist. Terrible songwriter. I would never listen to a Steve Vai song willingly.
Rough. Okay.
Yeah, but he's great, and I admit that. I just don't care for his music, and someone can fight me in the comments again if they feel so enthused. So the next song for me that I really dug. There's a lot of these are bonus songs, games, because like mostly the track list itself, mostly from my point of view, is all songs that generally people would know, and that's why it's part of the main set list. They're just generally more popular than not. Though they did a good job of bringing those songs back to the forefront and like putting them on the iPods of the time, like getting them on exposed to like children of the generation, which is fucking awesome. So the next song for me that really got me was "Can't You Hear Me Knocking" from the Rolling Stones, which is on Guitar Hero 2 in like probably like the fifth or sixth tier. And like I've been a big fan of the Rolling Stones for a long time, just because like as far as like the Beatles Stones argument is concerned, my dad is very much a Stones guy over the Beatles. If you had to do
you just gotta cut out again.
So as far as like the Beatles Stones argument,
sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
You just cut out again at the. I just heard Rolling Stones and then Beatles Rolling Stones. So
yeah. So as far as like the traditional Beatles Stones argument goes, my dad always fell towards the Rolling Stones, so I'm more familiar now. I'm probably decently familiar with both.
Gotcha.
But as far as like the Stones went, like I was interested, but I was also like, whatever, dad. And so this is one track that I think holds up over time, and I think it's super underrated, like on that set list, because it's really cool. "Can't You Hear Me Knocking" by the Stones. I think it's on Sticky Fingers, that album, which is a fucking great album, by the way. Like it's pretty impenetrable as far as just general albums go. It's awesome. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's on that one. So that's a really good track. Underrated.
I'm not as well versed in the Stones as I should be, as a connoisseur of music, and I think it's just one of those bands that like I know I need to get into.
I mean, do you like they're
given at the time.
It's one of those bands too that's been around for literally ever, and I think they're immortal. I think the blood of Keith Richards could probably cure most diseases, or give people most diseases. I don't know. Who's to say?
Maybe sort of, kind of.
Yeah, but that leads to my third song, which is on Guitar Hero 3, the bonus songs, a song called "Impulse" by Endless Sporadic, which is literally a song that sounds like it was written for Guitar Hero. It's pretty much just someone wailing on a fairly clean sounding guitar, just soloing the whole time. Endless Sporadic did this track in 2007, and I don't know any other of their discography. I don't know any other songs by them, but I don't really care because the song is pretty fucking awesome. And anytime I play it, it's a solid gauge of like, am I warmed up? Am I not? Like it's a really fun track.
Yeah.
And it's underrated because it's a good song too. It's super catchy. So I really like that one too. Number 4 is a track that is like, I think accurately rated. It's underrated, but it's another one that's included on Guitar Hero 3 in the bonus tracks. It's FCP Remix by The Fall of Troy. And I think The Fall of Troy did like other tracks that are really popular. And I think there are people who stand for Fall of Troy, which is crazy to me because like they have like, in my mind, they have like 3 or 4 maybe that are good songs, and the rest of them they all sound the same. But it's like
yeah.
It's like they played difficult music for difficulty's sake. They sound like a light version of like the Mars Volta. Like if someone heard the Mars Volta and they were like, I want to make a band like that, it sounds like that's that band. But the song is great. Like the song is super catchy. The vocals are really good. It's definitely an underrated song. It's very, very palatable as far as listening goes. I'd say I like it a lot. It's a fun one, and it's definitely one that has high listenability. And then number 5, I think, is my favorite on this list, just because I don't know if it's the best Guitar Hero track on this list, but as far as songs go, it's definitely the weirdest and most interesting, and it's super fucking catchy, and it's absolutely underrated. A song called Elephant Bones by Them Handsome Devils, and it was on Guitar Hero 2 in the bonus tracks. Which that game had in the bonus tracks probably had some serious fringe stuff. Around the time, they actually couldn't use a lot of, they didn't have the licenses from bands, nor could they afford them to use like original tracks, right? So the first 3 games are actually almost entirely their house band playing all of these songs. And
Really?
Yeah. And so it's weird to go back because you kind of forget until you play the game again, and then you're like, this is weird, but like very slightly weird, and I can't put my finger on why. And the various obvious vocal tracks are kind of like, oh well, obviously that's not the real band, but some others, like they do good covers. It's just weird when you go back because you don't think about it, and like obviously at this point we have much better ears than we did
Yeah.
15 years ago, so that makes a huge difference.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
also just had no idea. You just kind of assumed, being
exactly, because
10
why
years
wouldn't
old,
you,
like,
right? Like most of these
I,
songs you're hearing for the first time if you're just
yeah.
like if you're the average player and consumer and music consumer. So like there's no reason why you would know these tracks. But then when you hear the real ones, it's like, oh yeah, it's the same thing. And then but you go back and it's like, oh no, it's not. So it's kind of
Huh.
funny that way.
Dude, I had no idea. You just blew my mind.
Yeah. And like they, credit to them, they probably ended up saving a shit ton of money on licensing because like
Dude.
if
Yeah.
they had to license all those songs, it would have cost like they didn't know that this game was going to be as big as it was, and so there's no reason for them to like license those tracks at that point. The fact that it got that big and they didn't license is like a credit to them too,
For
because
sure.
like they ended up taking so much more of the profit that way. So just from like a business perspective, it was a solid move on accident, out of
Yeah. And then
necessity. Like,
shout out to their house band for being able to play all those songs.
dude, straight up, man, like
Good
it
golly,
could
Miss
not have been
Molly.
easy. Yeah, like I would be curious to know if they had like a couple of guitarists playing or just one doing it all, but like kudos, because some of those songs really wail, and like especially when you get deeper in the
Yeah.
game, and they're fucking hard, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, Elephant Bones by Them Handsome Devils is like this really kind of cool. It almost has like this kind of this James Bond sound to the guitar. And I can't remember the name of the pedal. I'm not a guitarist. But
Okay.
it's like this, is it maybe a chorus? I don't know. It's like this weird fucking delay pedal thing going on, but it sounds really cool. And like it's just a weird fucking song. It doesn't have any place on that game. It doesn't make any sense why it's there. And I feel like Guitar Hero 2 in particular with the bonus songs did that a lot. There were a lot of stuff that I was like, I've never heard that before, and I would never normally hear that before. And that was, I think, the biggest draw for that game for me when I was 13. So even now, the fact that I still think that song kicks ass, I think says a lot.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one to check out. Elephant Bones by Them Handsome Devils, and that rounds out my 5 underrated Guitar Hero songs. And it's funny because like I think that's mostly 2, 3, and maybe 1 on 1. The Get Ready to Rock from Freeze Pop, which is like Get Ready to Rock and Let's Talk More Rock. It gets confusing because they're like so
For
close
sure.
title wise.
So similar
On the
names,
same
yeah.
album, I think too, which is bullshit. Like
that's just goofy.
it is
What are we
goofy. They're a
doing?
goofy band though. They sound like a Game Boy. Like it sounds like a Game Boy making rock music.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's super weird. So yeah, those are my 5 on this one. I'm excited on future segments, by the way, because like we were going back and forth. And
Dude,
like
you've
just
got
some of the
so many ideas. It is ridiculous. I think I would be able to legit, like, if I had the time, I think I could squeeze you, like I'd be able to squeeze you 1 episode a week probably, and just be able to crank out it. Again, if I had the time to crank out 3 episodes a week, you would definitely be able to fill out one of those episodes entirely by yourself.
Yeah, I'd be
which
happy
is
to do
just
that in a scenario
impressive.
that happened. It's funny though, because like just for everyone at home to give some examples, and we'll probably use some of these too.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Yeah, I because we were kind of trying to figure out like what the structure of this should be and like how we can make it compelling and interesting. And like I'm a big fan of limiting numbers and kind of creating countdowns. That's always been a good way, I think, of finding new music, new things in general. I think it's a good way to curry favor in that regard. So I like the idea of doing like new music at the top, and then some that I came up with 5 Christian rock songs that actually rock. Because like that, I think that's really funny. Like, I mean, off the top of my head, you gotta have like Reliant K on there, you know, like things like that are like, wow,
Yeah.
you know, this piano rock doesn't suck. Who knew?
And then also it's like I found out far after I was listening to Reliant K
Exactly.
that they
See,
were
that's
a
like
Christian band.
my favorite part is when you're like, what? That's a Christian band? I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think that would be a really fun one. So we're definitely gonna use that
absolutely.
one. And
Yes,
then
sir.
another one we discussed was swinging samples, 5 songs used in famous hip hop, rap, or R&B songs that are super fly on their own. I was listening to like this Ella Fitzgerald playlist a few days ago, and this Nina Simone song came on, and I was like, "Fuck me, that's a Kanye sample," and just like immediately was floored because I was like, "That's really cool."
Dude,
Or no, it
that
wasn't a
one-
Kanye sample. It was a Jay-Z sample that he used in uh the Ballad of OJ, I think.
I know exactly what you think, what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah, and like you see,
dude.
like
Okay,
putting those two, I always love when you find like organically find one of the songs that you have in a sample that you really like in another song.
yeah,
Because like it's almost all like if it's one of the bigger name artists like you know like a Kanye, like a Jay-Z or what have you, they typically are using really good songs in the first place
yeah.
to make these samples. So like I'm a huge fan of that. So I'm looking forward to that one too. And like there's going to be so many more. Like I'm really pumped for this segment because I think it's fun to kind of creatively stretch those muscles.
Oh, absolutely, man.
And to like, you know, get people listening to some things that they may not necessarily listen to normally. So yeah, that's all I got
And
for today.
all right, man. Well, I was gonna say, and also if we're smart, and when we say we, I mean myself, and, and I ask you what segment do you want to do for the next time, I could then also give my 5.
Oh, dude, I like
and see
that.
if what
Yeah, let's make it like a 5-on-5.
5v5 and see like how often we match up and how and see where the differences lie.
Yeah, I like
Because
that. I actually like the idea too of you know if you know people watching this are into it. I like the idea of like a 5v5 where there's a winner at the end of it, right? So like people can comment or vote and then see who
Dude,
dunked on the other one, you know?
absolutely.
Max and
Ah,
Marcus dunk on 5.
oh, I'm so down for it. That'd be, yeah.
So
Yeah. Let's
let's do
talk
it, man.
about and
Like
see how legit we can make this segment.
yeah, so a couple days
See,
out, we'll settle on like what category it is,
yeah,
and then we'll go from there. That sounds like a plan. I love that.
I love that as well, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
But then just quickly talking about Guitar Hero,
Hmm.
like that was such. I don't want to say revolutionary, but because
It
it just
was
feels
though. I mean,
it feels
revolutionary
hacky,
would
but
be a
it
fine word.
was, yeah.
Yeah, because like
Because
ultimately, I think as far as games go in the 21st century, especially in the first decade of the 21st century, it was probably it was absolutely a transcendent game of the era.
cut out again, big dog.
It was absolutely a transcendent game of the era, and it defined a lot of like gameplay, especially in the late 2000s. Like I can't think of a single person I know who
Yeah,
didn't play Guitar Hero, and that's insane. To have
that
that
is,
much
yeah,
like have
yeah,
that much singularity with a video game, like what the hell?
yeah,
That's like I mean,
bananas.
not everyone has played Pokemon, but I'm pretty confident that most people have played Guitar Hero, at least in our age group, right? And that's
If you're at
wild.
least if you're at least 25, you have picked up a guitar and played Guitar Hero.
Yeah, if you're like if you're a Gen Y, I guess would be like if you're Gen Y, you have more than likely played Guitar Hero. I think that's like
Bananas.
1980 through 1994, if I remember right. I don't know that off the top of my head. I looked it up for something else earlier today.
I thought that was millennial. I thought Gen Y
Millennials
was
94
95.
to 2005.
Really?
I think so. And then I don't remember what Gen Z is. I don't know. It's one of the. I think there's like overlap too.
I could have sworn this entire time I was a millennial.
You're not a millennial, bro.
No?
No.
Huh.
No. You would be, because how old are you? You're like 28, 29?
I'm about to be 28. So I was born in 93.
Yeah, same. So yeah, we are. I guess it is millennials. Yeah, weird. Okay, it says millennials, Gen Y, Gen Next. I don't know how I missed that earlier.
Just completely got them all flipped around.
Yeah, I totally did. Jesus Christ.
So millennial is like it's from 80 to 94, right?
Yeah, that's what it says, which is pretty interesting. And then Gen Z would be 95 to 2012. And now it's Gen Alpha 2013 up through 2025, which is through 2025. Like,
That's weird.
yeah, I guess it's a 12-year cutoff, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, the whole thing's fucking weird. It's super weird. It's because like I'm looking now like all the way back to 1890, and you got like the Lost Generation, which sounds dope. It sounds like
super dope.
It sounds like a bunch of people who were into the show Lost. Which why wouldn't you be? That makes sense to me. That makes total sense to me.
Yeah, makes total
and
sense.
Then there's an interbellum generation, 1901 to 1913. Don't know what that means. The Greatest Generation, 1910 to 1924. Whatever.
That's a bit pretentious.
Yeah, it is. The Silent Generation, which is funny. 1925 to 1945. That's super funny. And then baby boomers from 46 to 64, obviously. Gen X, which would be our parents more than likely. And then Zillennials, which sounds stupid, but that's 75.
That's a terrible name.
Yeah, like if it was 75 to 85, that's really like I would rather be called a millennial than a zillennial. That sounds so dumb.
That just sounds gross.
It does. I don't want to. No. Get the fuck out of here with that. Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Okay, you brought up Lost.
Yeah,
and
I did.
I'm torn between asking you top 5 sitcoms or top 5 shows in general.
Like dramas, like top 5 series, I guess would be.
Top 5. Let's go series. Yeah.
Okay.
Off the top of your head, could you give me your top 5 best series?
It's tough. It's tough because it's like, is it top 5 like categorically, or is it top 5 to me?
Let's go to you and like blanket statement. So anywhere from a sitcom to like full action packed. Like I'm thinking like from New Girl to like Game of Thrones and everything in between.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then in no particular order, off the top of my head, I think Fleabag is up there. It's one of the best comedies that I've ever seen, and it's on Amazon Prime. And it was done in 2017, and then the second season was in 2019. I'm pretty sure it's only a 2-season show, which is even cooler because they just decided to stop, even though they didn't have to. They had a ton of steam. It's 6 episodes a season, and it's straight up one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And like it's so well done that you'll also get like in your feels, and to be able to like navigate those lines as well as they do, insane, so good. Another one, I think,
just lost your entire explanation on Fleabag.
Oh, that's funny. So
your camera froze up on yeah.
That's okay. Yours froze up on my end too. I figured. So yeah, as far as Fleabag goes, I think it's one of the funniest shows I've ever seen, but it also really bridges the gap and pulls at heartstrings at the same time. So it really bridges the gap between the two extremely well. So the highs are extremely high as far as like ha 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 goes, but then the lows are like holy shit, like I feel. So I really enjoy that one. I think Mr. Robot's up there. Breaking Bad is in there. And like these are Game of Thrones season 1 through 6. Not the last season. The last season is really not great. Really not very good. Which is funny because like I think as a series, as far as any given show goes, it would probably be passable with another show, like if it was anything else, but because everything prior to it was that good, it was kind of a kick in the teeth. But everyone's talked about that a billion times, so we all know this. And then number
Yeah,
five,
it's well documented.
number five. That's tough, man. Like it's oh man. I don't know. I almost want to leave it as like an open space because I feel like my own opinions as I'm watching things change over time. And so if I like I really liked How I Met Your Mother when I was in high school, and then after high school I was like, the show is only okay. So it's kind of funny how that works. Like I'd say like it served its purpose, and I thought it was really really great at the time, and it's not good. I mean, I know plenty of people who think it's the funniest show they've ever seen, but like at this point for me, I don't think that. But I respect anyone's opinion who feels otherwise. So like it's tough to kind of like the shows that I mentioned, I feel are genuinely impenetrable. I touched on Mr. Robot for a second, but that's one of the best shows I've seen on TV too. That's a real good one.
I've heard really good things about it, and I've never watched it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Like you'll get sucked in the first episode. It's really easy to watch.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I can't. It's man, it's tough to think of a fifth one.
I respect it, man.
And what about you?
So it's got to be Scrubs.
Oh, Scrubs is great.
Season 1 through 8. The 9th season doesn't count. Breaking Bad, like you said, I think
it's impenetrable. It is inevitable.
It just holds up so well. It's just the overall arc and the decline of Walter, just bananas, man. My low key one has got to be Letterkenny.
Oh, dude, Letterkenny's awesome.
Dude,
I've been watching. I watched it when it was only piratable, like in 2015, I think, or maybe like beginning 2016. I got really into it, and I just because I saw their YouTube shit that they were doing, and I was like, these guys are funny as fuck. And dude, like I'm a big hockey fan, and I've got family up in Canada too, and like it's like culturally, I'm a big fan of Canada. I think it's awesome. I'm not Canadian. I've got cousins who live up there and everything. So like my mom grew up in North Dakota. So like that kind of regional stuff to a degree, I understand. I don't fully understand it, but I respect
got Canadian vibes. You definitely got Canadian vibes. Yeah, my boy showed it to me this summer. My boy Greg. Shout out to Greg.
Shout out to Greg.
I was so confused for like the first episode. The first season, the entire season, I was just like, "What? What is happening? It's a really different cadence. What is going on?" Such a different. And then, like, once you kind of like settle in, you're just like, "Oh, this show is just actually about nothing," and they just figure out a way to punch up and make every situation about it funny. And the art of chirping is one of the most impressive things I've ever come across.
Yeah, it's great. It's a real fun show. Anyone who hasn't watched it, definitely watch it. It's on Hulu.
Definitely check it out. It's on Hulu.
And they have
9 seasons.
The things that actually started that.
So
the guy who started that, Jared and oh god, I can't remember.
Again, dog.
I was gonna say the guys who started that, Jared and shit, I can't. Maybe Taylor. I can't remember his name. The other guy's name. He plays Shorzy on the show. But those two guys actually started by doing some videos on YouTube as like, oh God, it was some of my favorites. My close friend of mine who's also really into hockey showed them to me back in like 2014 when we were in school. And like it was this hockey media relations videos where these guys are just like, it's like post-game interviews with these two guys. And like the joke is like, hockey guys always give like the same stock answers to interviews, and so like they use the same answer like 3 times to different questions, but the questions get ridiculous. So yeah, it's funny. I'll like offline I'll send you the videos because they're fucking hilarious. But that's kind of what started like the idea for them to do a show. So they've been doing shit like that for years and years.
Gotcha.
And then when they did Letterkenny, it started to take off in Canada, and thank God Americans found it and thought it was funny because I
Figured
think
it
it's
out,
been,
yeah.
like really helpful in them like moving forward and doing cooler things.
Absolutely.
So they're great. Yeah.
And then I gotta put them. I'll put them side by side, but I get what you're saying about How I Met Your Mother. As it doesn't hold up as well as like a Breaking Bad or a Scrubs, but I guess the ninth season, and you know you go back and forth on the last episode. I'm not a fan of the last episode, but
No, me neither. The ninth season felt like a punch in the face. I was not a fan of that.
Yeah,
I think that was why I soured on it. Is because while I was watching it, I was like, this does not feel the same at all.
Yeah. But I have an emotional attachment to that show, so I gotta give it a shout out, and I'll put that side by side with New Girl.
Yeah, New Girl's great.
Only for the beeline story of Schmidt and Cece.
Oh yeah, it's a good story.
I think that's one of the best romantic through lines, like in all of sitcom
really
history.
Good job of telling that story. I enjoy that one quite a bit. That's a fun show.
Yeah, and then you know I'll similarly I'll leave that fourth spot open. You know, and you know you could throw in Lost, like you said, Game of Thrones, Mad Men.
Oh yeah, Mad Men's the shit.
Well, just with like
Lost you on Mad Men. Say again.
You said Mad Men's the shit.
Yeah, Mad Men is the shit.
You said Mad Men's the shit.
Yeah, it is. Like talking about like period shows. Like that show fucking kicks ass. It's so good. The set design is good. The costume design is good. The acting is phenomenal. Like all of those actors went on to do even cooler things after the show. Like
yes, absolutely.
Holy shit. Like transcendent. It was another AMC gig, man. AMC really has some kick-ass shows. Like they're low-key really good at that stuff. I think maybe my fifth spot on like a personal level, maybe Frasier, because it's the writing on that show really stands the test of time. And like in a weird way, I think with comedy in general, as far as like series and shows go, it's tough because I think over time they lose their luster just based on like like relatability, right? That's like such a huge thing in comedy and in sitcoms. It's just like, can I relate? Do I understand? Do I also and like how, like especially over time, like in Friends, 99% of the problems are solved if they have cell phones. It's not a funny show at that point. And when you think about it like that, you literally watch an episode of Friends and you're like, yeah, but if he could just like text her, this wouldn't be an issue. Like if he could shoot a text, like, oh my God, Joey's gonna miss the audition because Chandler wrote on the board. It was like, yeah, but if Chandler just texted him, like, no episode, like,
yeah.
Completely different show.
Okay, I
but
never thought
like
about
Frasier,
that.
the writing is so. I feel as far as sitcoms go, especially the writing is so good in Frasier that like it's still to this day I can watch it and I'm like, without even having to put myself in the 90s, this is fucking hilarious. The acting is really good. Like David Hyde, there's a reason it won Emmys for various things. Pretty much every year it was on. It was insane. Like David Hyde Pierce, I think collected like 8 Emmys from that show. Maybe the guy character who played Niles Crane. Yeah, like it's real good. And like anyone who's not a believer, just like watch a few episodes. Start like season 4. Watch a couple episodes. It doesn't have to be chronological. Ultimately, there's like some macro storylines, but most are micro. So it's a fun one. I really like that one. I might put that at like 5.
Okay. I respect that. I've never got into it, but I based off of your explanation of it, I might just check it out.
Yeah, it's one of those. I think the biggest strength of it is the writing. Like the writing on that show is really well done. Another show that I got into recently that somehow I just never been into. Started watching King of the Hill, and I was like, "Yo, this show's funny."
Oh my God!
Especially like growing up in Texas. King of the Hill's fucking hilarious.
I can't believe I forgot about King of the Hill. It is such a gem of a show. Good
Oh,
Lord.
Silicon Valley too is one as far as like comedies go that's just so good straight through. Like
I started
stupidly
watching that
good.
and I don't know why I stopped watching that. What is that one on?
HBO.
HBO. That's why.
H-Bizzle, O-Izzle. Yeah, that one is very worth watching straight, like all through.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious, and it's really really well done, well acted, well written. It's Mike Judge, man. Like Mike Judge doesn't write
He
bad
doesn't
shit.
miss, man.
He
Yeah, he
doesn't
doesn't
miss, man.
miss.
He doesn't miss. It's crazy.
It's him and the what's his name from Scrubs? What's the guy that wrote Scrubs? Good Lord. It'll come to me. But yeah, like he doesn't miss either. Like every show that he has done has been a banger.
Bill Lawrence?
For Bill Lawrence. Thank you.
What else has he done?
And of course all my bits of knowledge are escaping me now.
Oh, it's okay. I have the power of the internet over here.
And if you could look things up.
Oh, we did Ted
So that
Lasso in Cougar Town. Cougar Town,
Yeah.
guilty pleasure show for me.
It
Big time
is. It's
guilty
one of those
pleasure
goody
show.
ones. Yeah.
I also just really like Monica, whose name is Courtney Cox. Courtney Cox is really fun. Yeah,
Courtney
and then
Cox
you
is
Ted
great.
Lasso, which is really good. Wow, yeah, this guy's got some good shit. Spin City, he did Spin City.
Yes,
back in the day.
Spin City was his first one. Yeah, his first big one. So he went from Spin City into Scrubs. So just like banger back to back.
Yeah, and that was a great cast. Like Spin City, that was the first time I think I remember seeing Connie Britton, and that would have been pre Friday Night Lights, and she's awesome.
Yeah.
And obviously Michael J. Fox is really great too. Alan Ruck, I just think of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but he's great in Spin City. Yeah, that's an awesome show too. I don't want to say The Office, though I do think The Office is great. I just don't want to be that person who's like, yeah, I love shows like The Office. Like I feel like it's a Tinder profile at that point. I'm quirky and fun. I watch The Office. I'm so random. Like it just feels like one of those shows now. It is great.
Still to this day, I've never watched an episode of The Office.
Yeah, if I were to suggest one episode that I think is, and it won Emmys out the ass because it is that funny. The Dinner Party episode, season 4, episode 10. I know it because I've seen it so many times. It is straight up, in my opinion, it is a fucking work of art. It is the funniest episode of that show, hands down. And like it helps to watch it with context, but even watching without context, like even just the backstory of that episode, they weren't on location for the first time in a while. They were just like in a condo, and a lot of the episode is improvised. And a lot of the episodes in general were fairly improvised, but that one in particular was like a lot of improvisation. And like you could, even in the final cut, you can see people like starting to crack because it was so goddamn funny. And like the way that they're able to interact with each other is really fun. And it's cringy funny. Like it's so fucking good. I still notice things new every time I watch it. Like it's really wild. So I like that episode a lot, but I would never put The Office on a list because of just out of spite almost. Like I just don't want to be that person.
I get you, man. I mean, it's become a meme for.
Yeah, right. It's like someone saying like, well, I mean, like I like Friends. It's like, yeah, of course, like yeah, everyone likes Friends. Like, and even people who don't like Friends watched Friends. Like, so joke's on them ultimately.
Yeah. Just yeah.
Like it's one of those. I was like, yeah, you don't have to like Friends. They made millions and millions of dollars and springboarded their careers to shit. They get noticed on the street and they get called the character name. Like, come on.
Yeah. It doesn't matter that I don't like them.
Exactly. They don't need you to.
They made more money than I ever will, and it's
in one episode. Like fuck.
In one episode, it is what it is.
They made 10 million episode in the final season. Like holy shit, man.
That is disgusting.
Yeah,
disgusting. It is. Oh my god.
Wait, it was either 10 mil or 1 mil. But it was also the 90s, right? Or like
either way, it was the 90s. So at least that's.
Yeah, one fun fact though is that they did all negotiate together. So they were all very like, while the producers and stuff were like, okay, we're gonna pay Jennifer Aniston and the guy who played Ross Geller, I can't remember his name. David. David
I'm not well. I don't know
His
the show well
name
enough.
his name is David. I know that much. David Schwimmer. Yeah, so they
There it
wanted to
is.
pay Jennifer Aniston and David Schwimmer higher than everyone else.
Really?
But
Okay.
the two of them, they were pretty unified across the board. So like the six main members of the cast were straight up like, we're either all getting paid the same thing or we're all walking.
Damn.
Yeah, and then
That's-
kudos to the network for saying, fine, we'll pay you, like we'll do it. Like I thought that's one of my favorite little tidbits of knowledge because I think that's just really, really cool that they would do that for each other because they didn't have to.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, man. Good for them for being good people.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, but
Shout out.
yeah, dude.
But all right, man. Well, we did the first episode to try to get a trial run. It doesn't help that January just kind of sucked for music because the world's still kind of shut down and there's just not a whole lot going on. Hopefully February brings us some more things.
I think it will. I think it's gonna be fun, right? Like I think that I think there's a lot to look forward to. I'm gonna be digging into just new stuff as it's released in February. It's just kind of a weird time. I mean,
Yeah.
which I feel like I'm exhausted from saying, yeah, it's a weird time. We've almost lapped like being in quarantine.
Dude,
So
I know,
that's
man.
insane.
Which is
It was like the initial, it'll be over by Easter, and like here we are.
yeah. Hey, almost
No.
a year later. I know there's got to be more people than myself that have this fear of like this PTSD thing where we leave for spring break and we're just going to be like stressed out the entire week. Like, are we going to go back to school? What's going to happen?
Oh
So
my God, I can't imagine, man. Like
hopefully,
today was the first day that cases have decreased in Los Angeles County. So like I'm optimistic. They're still fucking high, but I think we had like 6,900 something cases today, and we saw a decrease. That's the decrease number. But at the same time, like it is decreasing. So hopefully, like with the rollouts of the vaccines and everything, things are gonna be fine. But like we'll see.
we'll see, man. But anyways, brother, it is always a pleasure getting you on, and I'm excited to see you at least once a month to talk about music and talk about our 5 of something.
Hell yeah. We'll come up with a cool name for it too. That way people can see it from the byline. I got 5 on it. Wow, that's actually not bad.
Yo.
5 on it with Marcus and Max.
I'm not mad at it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about something.
We'll offline it.
Yeah, for sure. But I appreciate you jumping on, brother. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that watched the entire episode. Thank y'all so very much. Make sure you go follow Max because he's always doing some project, and if it's easier for him to promote on his own channel, as I will also promote anything that he does. So just get the things from the guy, and y'all be easy. Peace.
See you guys.